Will you apologize? Apologizing mentally. I'm sorry. Just because I know we're going to go fly away, we're going to work for Paul Thomas Anderson or some other giant. Won't return my calls anymore. Kiss me.
We have time for a few more.
Thomas Anderson. Isn't that cool?
We have time for a few more questions. Yes, up here.
I just want to ask Val, are you ever going to do another Western? Doc Holliday is like...
Oh, I'd like to.
You ever play a villain?
Yes.
I got a pitch for you.
Love this festival!
Do we have any other questions? Yes, in the back.
Directed at Val, I'm just curious, you obviously work with a lot of great directors over your career, Oliver Stone and Schumacher and Michael Mann. What's very special about working with the legend Francis Ford Coppola?
The question is that you've worked with a lot of the great directors, and what's special about working with Francis?
Everything. He's a, don't laugh, he's a real genius. He really is. So it doesn't really matter what you're talking about. He's really compelling. And just read an interesting article about Samuel Beckett talking about James Joyce, and he said he learned from him important, or I would say real definition of what it means to be an artist. There's not that many people that really make you stop and think about art in a critical way. And I think his films, that's why we love him. He's found a way, or what interests him personally, that then he just has this huge appetite for, you know, what it takes to be a great director. You just have to have a kind of nerves of steel, and you know, he talks about being rattled, but he's just a tank. I never made a movie with someone, with a director on the set as much as him, and he's the oldest director I've worked for. He's there all day, even, right? Even when you wish he wasn't. There he is, watching, waiting, silently judging you. When's Mihai gonna finish?
Was he ever wrong?
No. Never. No, it's a good quote from one of Gandhi's closest associates. He's more right when he's wrong than we are when we're right. No, he's amazing. Sure, he makes mistakes, and that's why he's a real artist. He's trying to go for something that he's not sure of, or there's no answer to, and but there's a kind of sophistication to his life. He's got really great taste, so you just think differently around him. So it's really fun. You should have your own talk show. I'm not kidding.
We have time for one last quick one. Does anyone have one last question? Yes, over here.
Hi, Mr. Kilmer, do you feel like you revealed a lot more of yourself in this movie than you have in others?
The question is whether or not Val feels he revealed more of himself in this film than any other.
Or your own personal stuff?
Well, it feels that way to me just because I've been writing this movie for so long. I've tried to do less movies, and then I kept buying my neighbors' ranches and got caught up in personal stuff in New Mexico where I live, or personal interests away from film. So I've done a lot of movies to just pay those bills, which, you know, I don't regret. I have a nice home, but in terms of the career, and I've made very few movies that are like me, and most of the time by 50, like all my contemporaries, you sort of have a feeling what Johnny Depp's like, and Tom Hanks, and I don't think I don't know who I am, but I know that audiences don't really have a sense of what I mostly like, because they're just not, you know, I like girls, and I haven't made that many, you know, love stories. I haven't made a couple. And this is my ex-wife, who Francis loves, who's going on and on about who should we cast one day, and I said, you know, you love her so much, why don't you ask her? And then he did it. So that's my ex-wife who's playing my wife in it. was an improv of mine when I said, you know how people ask me how I write witches so well because I married one. I was what Stanislavski calls in the moment. Yeah. It's not that was like a reality show right there. Where's the money? Where's the money? But I'm joking. I'm joking. But I've been writing for a long time. I never had a movie made. I've written lots of scenes that are in lots of movies that just proper kind of collaboration. But I haven't made a movie that was directly connected to a personal experience that I had, like this loss that Francis experienced. Gio, his son, was supposed to see me that morning, and he got on this boat instead. So, and then I've, like all of us here, loved him my whole life. So telling a story about creativity, and we shot in his backyard, and I've been up there many, many times because we're friends. It was, I don't know, I mean, but probably more than most films I've done. It also seems like it's like being that heavy, and I never had a drinking problem, but the guy's, I don't think he's not an alcoholic in the story, but he's hit a wall, he doesn't know what's happening, and we've all had those kind of bouts with our destiny. We don't know what to do, and he's perfectly willing just to sell out and write something glib and fast. And with Francis, like Quentin Tarantino is very articulate about this. They don't seem like it, but they're really personal films. Even these great big stories that he's made, they're really dynamic. I particularly love him, how he talks with such fondness about Sophia, because most of her stories, if not all of them, are, she's writes a character who's got trouble with her dad, but he loves her stories. He's so supportive of her personality, her personal stamp. So I feel like, might be more wishful thinking personally, that I feel like I'm friends with him because I've known him a long time, but it's a kind of, it feels like, also because it was literally made in his backyard, that it kind of feels like a dream, working for him in a real way, like a dream come true for any actor.
That's the way it needs to be.
Yeah, I was reading your mind just then. This is the most he said in 2 years. I want you all to know that.
And on that note, please join me in thanking Mihai.